we don't need to wait until, let me cover this up again. We don't need to wait until Tuesday to know who the top 5, top 4, top 6 teams are, because I'm going to say them. And I'm just going to give my opinion. That's what it is. It's just opinion based. Game's not even over. Lane Kiffin sold. He has this many dogs on his team. That game could have been fun because the Rebels were keeping it close there against Georgia. But I'm telling you right now, with Georgia's back-to-back ranked opponents win, first beating Missouri and then beating number 9 Ole Miss, doesn't matter if it was on the road or at home, they have the best resume right now. And if they do not move them up over Ohio State, the bias for Ohio State will be loud and clear. The fact that Alabama didn't move, the fact that Georgia didn't move, the fact that Washington didn't move, there's no excuse now. It's like Georgia has beat 2 ranked teams now in back-to-back weeks, and not only beat them, took care of them, and they especially took care of the Rebels tonight. So Georgia's my number 1. Number 2, I have is Michigan. Yes, I had them at 5 last week, and I told them until they beat Penn State and Ohio State, there's no reason to have them ranked at all because they haven't played anybody. Well, they have now. They played Penn State, and they whooped on Penn State. And I'm probably going to make a video later about it, but Penn State is the little brother in the Big Ten, and they will always be. They're never going to beat Michigan. They're never going to beat Ohio State. They barely might beat Michigan State. They're incompetent. The Penn State Nittany Lions are the little brother. Like, they cannot get it done. Drew Aller is not the answer. Coach Franklin, I mean, he's fallen off ever since that 2017 season when they had Saquon and McSorley before both of them went to the NFL. But that's an overreaction for another time. Washington, I have at number 3. There's no more excuses for them to not be in the top 4. I don't think they'll be in the top 4 because I think the committee will keep them out. They beat USC. They then go home and they take care of business against Utah, which is a pesky team. And Utah was able to hang around, but that defense finally locked up. Penix Jr. showed his arm. It's neck and neck between Bo Nix and Michael Penix for the Heisman. The other team would be Ohio State. Yes, I still have Ohio State in the top 4, but them drop from the number 1 to the number 4 for me, personally, is because of who they played tonight and who they played last week, too. They have not, in the last 2 weeks, played a ranked opponent. They played the Rutgers, and then they played Sparty. And, you know, if Rutgers were ranked or Michigan State had a better season like I had anticipated this season where they were a top 25 team by this time now that I thought they were, yes, you still keep them at the 1 because, you know, they took care of a top 10 team. But no, they were unranked. They had, 2 wins, 3 wins? And so Michigan State had a disappointing year this year. And so when you go play in the shoe and then get absolutely whacked like that, there's zero credibility there. There's not like a big fancy win. And so that's why I'd have them drop a little bit. And now all eyes are on the game, you know, in Ann Arbor, because I think personally it doesn't matter who wins or who loses. The way this thing's going to play out, both Ohio State and Michigan are going to get in the college football playoff. They really are. Like, unless craziness happens where Michigan loses at Maryland and then loses, you know, in the big house against Ohio State. Florida State, I'd have them dropping just a little bit to 5. And the reason why is because of how close Miami kept it there in the end. Miami was that team where, you know, there are a few dumb mental mistakes away from being a top 4 or top 5 team in the country, but they've dropped, 4 out of their last 5? But then at the 6, I'm going to play it safe right now. That game hasn't even kicked off. Oregon has not even played the first snap against USC. We're still watching the Oklahoma versus West Virginia game. Oregon's probably going to win tonight, so they would be at the 6. Okay, if Oregon's not at the 6 and they lose tonight, okay, put Texas because they're 7. Well, if both of these teams lose because TCU comes back and wins and then USC pulls a shocker, put Alabama. And it's simple. 6, 7, and 8 is Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. Whichever one wins, put them up there at number 6. We'll just see. That's my thoughts on the top 6 in the country right now because things are heating up. Things are heating up. There is no time like the present. And Ole Miss, for a little sliver there, had a shot. But after Georgia whooped on them tonight, we know who the top team in the country is. They just reclaimed their throne tonight. So I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.